If you spoke with Romani on the first day, she'll ask you to come and help her on the first night at 2 a.m. to defend Romani Ranch against invading aliens. At exactly 2 a.m., she comes out of the ranch house and gives you a few last-minute hints before it begins. The aliens will appear as white dots on your minimap and can only be killed with arrows. You can smash the crates or slash up grass to get arrows, but you can also run through the grass while riding Epona, or kill the aliens who drop arrows when defeated. Romani enters the barn at 2:15, and the aliens will begin invading at 2:30. Make sure you're full on arrows and be ready to defend the barn. Earlier, Romani had you practice with the balloons while riding Epona, but ironically, this is actually not the best way to defeat them. I'm going to show her way first, since it can be difficult, and it's most likely what you're struggling with if you're watching this video, so I'm going to show it so you can see that it is indeed possible. As the red light appears and begins depositing aliens around, you want to take a look at your minimap, and the aliens will appear as white dots on your map. It's kind of confusing because it's the same as the doors are also white dots on your map. But just make note of these starting locations. Every time you defeat an alien, it will appear back at its starting location. So if it hasn't traveled very far and you kill it, it will only move back a little bit. Meanwhile, if you wait a little while for it to get closer and then you kill it, it will push it back further in comparison. Does that make sense? So because of this, I actually recommend you wait a little while before you begin killing them so that you make your efforts worthwhile. If you're just sporadically shooting them and panicking, oh no, the aliens are appearing, you're actually going to make this harder for yourself. Always work your way clockwise or counterclockwise around the barn. Just take it slow and kill one at a time. Use your minimap to see how far away they are so that you can chase one down if it gets too close. Now I believe most people make the mistake of charging Epona around and killing any aliens in sight. They end up being too far away from the barn, and as a result, they can't make it back in time to kill the ones that get too close. As you can see, riding Epona is a bit awkward. You have to focus on moving her around, and because she keeps moving, you may end up missing an alien because it's difficult to turn around. When you get sick of it, here's the trick to completing this. Get off Epona. It's really that simple. As you can see here, I stopped an alien that almost reached the barn, and I didn't mean to let it get that close, but this is also a perfect example of what I'm trying to show. If you have the bunny hood, slap it on, since this makes it just a tad easier, but it's not required, and then run off to one side of the barn and get ready to circle around again. I personally like to wait until the aliens get a little closer. This actually means I'm shooting less aliens total because they appear less often. That's the trick. So it also makes them easier to hit because they're closer and I have less distance to travel. Once you start, just begin circling around the barn, taking aim, and as you'll quickly see, when you're not riding Epona, it's far easier to snipe them. Just don't panic, just aim carefully, and shoot. Watch your minimap, and in case one of them gets super close, but otherwise, just focus on one at a time, working your way clockwise or counterclockwise around the barn. Now that wasn't so bad, now was it? Calm, slow, and best of all, easy. I'm not sure what it is about riding Epona. I mean, it sounds like a good idea, but it seriously makes this so much harder. I think Nintendo was just really trying to have that epic horseback fighting, something they didn't manage to do very well in Ocarina of Time and its big post-side quest. While I think this is better, it's still not very intuitive, I suppose, which is probably why I didn't make it into the part of their essential storyline and is merely a side quest instead. In Twilight Princess, they did manage to make the horseback battle that did work out, and I think they did a wonderful job for that epic scene in that game. At 5:15, the sun will rise enough and the aliens will disappear. Congratulations, you successfully staved off the alien attack. You'll then meet up with Romani again, who thanks you by giving you the next bottle. If you've been following along with me, you should now have 3 total. This one comes filled with milk, which is a new form of potion that you haven't encountered yet in this game. This stuff restores 5 hearts and can be used twice, kind of reminiscent of the red medicine from the original Legend of Zelda, I suppose. This stuff isn't very practical later on in the game when you have more hearts, but you can, however, play Epona's song for cows to get free milk whenever you want. Romani will thank you one last time and run off to bed before her sister wakes up. So embarrassing that is, saving the farm and all. This will then complete her entry in the Bomber's Notebook as well. Yay! Just a quick comment, if you still have trouble stopping the aliens, you can play the Inverted Song of Time, which is the Song of Time backwards, to slow down time to 1/3 that of normal. This will slow down the aliens as well, making them float along super slow, which just makes them incredibly easy. So that concludes everything I need to discuss about the alien invasion, so feel free to skip ahead to the next video, where we will continue on with the main quest. Now, for the sake of completeness, and just because I'm awesome, I'm going to be showing every possible cutscene for this whole side quest. This includes all the defeat scenes as well. The following clips are not for the faint of heart. This is the cutscene that plays when you failed and let any of the aliens touch the barn. I'm sure most of you have probably seen this particular scene at least once and are grinding your teeth at seeing it again. Anyway, the aliens come and abduct all of the cows as well as Romani. Aww. Now if you fail, you can then check out the door, but it's apparently locked. The next day, Cremia is in the barn, frightened because both the cows and her little sister are gone. Yeah, I'd be kind of freaked out too. Later that night, you can enter the house and Cremia will be sitting alone at the table for supper. She looks so sad. Without the cows, there will have no means of supporting themselves as well, and this means that this is kind of a big deal because they will starve. After you're done talking with her, you can actually go upstairs to the bedroom and see Romani asleep in the bed. I guess Cremia must have found her out in the field or something, but she looks kind of out of it. I suppose I would be too if I were abducted by aliens. On the final day, if you fail to stop the aliens, Romani can be found outside sitting on a crate. She will offer for you to practice, but it only works if you learned Epona song earlier. Romani apparently doesn't remember much, and she acts kind of like a zombie. Also, during the final day, you can speak with Cremia in the barn, and her conversation goes pretty much the same as the second day, but she says a little bit more this time around, which is why I showed this one instead. On the final night, you can speak with Cremia inside the house, and she vaguely mentions something that happened to Romani on the first night, but she doesn't know exactly what it is. They look so sad together, but if you try speaking with Romani, you'll just end up speaking with her sister again. Aw, cheer up all you people. I was just showing the sad cutscenes because I'm sure most of you haven't seen most of those, but I showed you how to prevent the alien abduction earlier, so you are a bovine savior and a gourmet drinker of milk to boot. Anyway, rewinding to show the happy movies. Back on the first night, if you go inside and speak with the sisters, Cremia will then give you her sales pitch for Romani Ranch's famous magical milk. Now, this is not the same stuff that we won in the bottle earlier. It's actually different, and we will actually be using this later on in the walkthrough. On the second night, you can optionally go inside and speak with Romani, who will thank you for helping her to fend off the extraterrestrials. And at long last, I'm taking us back to the present. We just successfully saved the cows and are from being abducted, and Romani is happy with us. So we won the bottle, and with all that taken care of, join me for the next video, and we will finish off the remaining quests we can do here in Romani Ranch.